There's a difference between acting and wanting. Okay? Temptation is when you want to do bad. Okay? We all have those temptations. Okay? There's a difference in acting. Okay? You may have the feeling and you may have the desire, but you are not slave to that desire. Now, the first thing is to recognize you're not free. You're not a slave to that desire. You're free from it. Now, the second thing is to live your life in such a way that you no longer desire the evil thing. I don't want that anymore. Okay? They tell me that if you eat healthy food long enough, your taste buds will change. Never been there myself. But that's what I'm told. That it will literally change the things that you want. Christ will set you free from the prison of being tempted all the time to where life is always a struggle. Right? Oh gosh, I don't want to do this, don't want to do this. To where you get to the point where you don't want to do it at all. That's because you are free. Now you have to learn to live free. That's different. You have to take responsibility for your life. You have to know that it is yours. And yes, there are times when we submit to the government authorities, and there are times when we do not. There are times in the history of the church where we have had to practice civil disobedience. And that time may come in America where we have to do it again. If it does, we have been here before, brothers and sisters. And for some reason, nobody takes you seriously as a preacher until you do a little jail time. It's your choice. You've been given the freedom to choose. To choose to follow, to choose to be like him, to be free from those things that will take us away. We submit, but we submit as a free person. You're never in a situation where you don't have a choice. You're never in a situation, because we live in a culture where everybody wants to blame everybody else, and you know, you have to understand the way my parents raised me. I'm addicted to this. I can't help that. In Christ, you are free. And Paul wrote the Galatians, you have been set free for freedom's sake. Do not submit to any yoke of slavery again. And that's what happens. If you study the population of the U.S. and where different groups have settled and where they've moved, one of the things that you will notice is there is a large African-American population in those places where slavery used to be so strong. Charleston, South Carolina, where the slaves were brought and sold. Memphis, where they were bought and sold along the river there, and where so many of them worked on the plantations in West Tennessee. Why? Because when the Civil War ended, where do you go? What do? This is the house you've always lived in. These are the people you've always been around. This is where my family is. You stay. So you're born again. You have that moment, but all of your friends are still in the old lifestyle. One of the most important things we have to do as a church is remember that when somebody comes to Christ, they're leaving everything and everybody behind. So we bring them into our family. That's the importance of groups. We recreate the family structure. And we find new brothers and new sisters in Christ, new mothers and new fathers in Christ, because he recreates the family structure, and they're the ones who teach you how to live free.